Hey peeps, what if Deku had a question mark? Quirk. Now, this isn't meant to be clickbait, or this isn't meant to be like hee hee ha funny type beat, but this is the way I would have to set it up for the story. So you're gonna have to bear with it, okay? Also, before we get into the video, I will have some type of stamp of some sort just so you can skip the intro. But we will be having these following videos pop up. What if Naruto regained consciousness in the womb? That will be continued on this channel. What if Deku was in the world of Minecraft? That will be continued. Also, for the people that aren't caught up with that series, the following series, what if Deku was a villain? What if Deku had a Minecraft quirk? And what if I think that's it for the right now. I will be making shorts, compilations of that. So that'd be like 20 minutes, and this will be summing up each part. If not summing up, some of them, because like some of them I had to make like part 1.5, for example. But this is a way for all of y'all to be able to catch up to the story without having to rewatch everything. And then if you want to rewatch everything, you can always do that. But you have a quick version just to get you caught up on the gist in general information. And I also did make those videos a couple years ago, so yeah, the same thing will be happening for What If Deku was a Villain. I haven't started on that, but I'm working on the Minecraft thing. We also have stuff going on the other channel, my guys. So we're having What If Tien survived the future timeline, the thumbnail's there. What if Yamcha survived the future timeline remastered? Because I got a better idea how I'm going to do the story and it's different. And what if Piccolo survived the future timeline? And then we're also going to have a fourth one at the time of recording this. I don't have the thumbnail. It might be up by the time I'm done. I don't know yet. But what if the humans survived the future timeline? You see the theme here? I'm not saying I really like the future timeline or anything. I promise. But with that being said, that is all the stuff. And for the Dragon Ball Z related activities, that will be on my other channel, Boss DK of Dragon Ball Z What Ifs. Simple. Now with all of that and all that grittiness and goodness out of the way, let's get into the actual video. Okay, so basically, we're gonna have it off where your boy is in like a tuxedo. He's looking good, and he goes into the story as such. Some people are born with quirks, and some people aren't. This story is a little bit different than most, and let's just say there's a twist to it all. But before I can get into what's happening now, I might need to get into what happened on that day. And flashback. It's more of like not a flashback, but it doesn't matter. So what ended up happening is blood everywhere. Screaming, explosions. It's all here. It's all there. What's going on? Why is this happening? As Deku stands up, battered and bruised, looking at it and screaming one name. Kachan! Boom! Deku wakes up in a cold sweat. And there also would be like if it was animated, it'd just be like a few hours or a few days or a few months ago. So Deku goes to school like normal. He does all his stuff like normal. He's not majorly geeked out and not a fanboy. He's a lot different. He has a more of a colder demeanor, almost representing kind of like Hit, for those that know Hit from Dragon Ball Z Super. So he's more relaxed and more mysterious, if you may. There's a game that everyone likes to play with them called What Is Your Quirk? It's like you use multiple different things. You use super strength, you use flame that one time, you used all of this. So what is your quirk? And Deku replies with what he always replies with. What do you mean? Who said I got a quirk? Y'all crazy. As Deku laughs off and the class begins. And Deku says, activation, precognition, with a sinister smirk. Jutsu's Kai type beat. And he's just like, Deku screams, or he screams, die. Bakugo runs into the class. Everyone out of my way or you'll die. Then, so wait, he can predict the future too? So does he have multiple quirks? What's going on? Everyone's looking at him. Bakugo's talking his hot stuff and this, and that. Deku's just writing in his notebook like always. And he just looks at him. Bakugo, you got your quirk and didn't know how to act, huh? He's like, oh, shut up, Deku. You don't even know what you're talking about. As Deku mimicked everything he just said. And then, like, Bakugo gets a little angry. If you keep being like that, I'm gonna give you a reason to mimic me. Or he would be more on the elegant side of things and be like, of course you would want to mimic perfection. And it's like, shut up, Bakugo. How many times have you beat me in a fight exactly? Hey, you just did cheap tricks. He's like, cheap tricks? Interesting. If I recall correctly, you didn't lay a single hand on me. But maybe my memory's a little bugged. You know, with all these quirks, it's kind of hard to keep track of certain activities. And Bakugo's like, shut up. You don't even got a quirk. You're probably just faking or something. He said. Deku stands up, walks straight to Bakugo's face and look him in his soul. I want you to say that again, but with your chest. No, I want you to say that again. And Bakugo's like, get out of my face or die. He said, I bet $100. It'd probably be like yen or something. I don't know what the Japanese currency is, but he'll be like, I bet $100. You can't hit me. And Bakugo, hand starts to spark as he's about to reach, and then the bell and the teacher simultaneously happens, and he's like, I'll let you live this time. He said, yeah, sure. Class goes on like per usual. Everyone's talking about where they're gonna go, and this and that. And, you know, pretty much, you know, Bakugo does his whole little speech. About, oh, you know, I'm the best, this and that, number one, blah, blah, blah. Dick Munchery, this, blah, blah, blah. Just a whole bunch of buffoonery, okay? And Deku's like, and then he's like, well, yeah, Midoriya would make sense, you know? You seem to possess multiple quirks, even though that's never been heard of. And your physical capabilities and your mental capability, yeah, your grades check out. Hell, you might even have a better chance to get in than Bakugo. And Deku is just like not even really responding to it. He's just like, yeah. And Bakugo is just like, don't think you're better than me. And then, like, before he could finish, Deku, which everyone would see this, Deku, not everyone, but I'm talking about like the viewer, sees that Deku like threw a pen in the air or pencil, and then the pencil hit something else. And long story short, it basically threw like an eraser, like one of those big erasers at Bakugo. And the dude's like, sorry, Bakugo, my bad. But really it was Deku. And Bakugo's just like fuming. So the class ends like regular Deku. And then, you know, as, you know, Deku's walking with his hands in his pocket, presumably checking to see, all he says is, looks like I got enough just for now, but I'm going to need to make some more if this is going to work. This is tiring. I barely get any sleep. My body's sore. Ugh, this is so painful. And then he's like, he smells something. It smells like sewage. What is that nasty? Deku immediately snaps up, looks at the damn sewage. Darn it, I forgot. I'm sorry. The sewage. And he looks at it. Sludge villain pulls up, And then Deku smirks, which we would pan into the sludge villain running. Oh, great heavens. I didn't know All Might was here. I gotta get out of here. Man, I can't take that guy alone. That guy's a monster. Ah, yes, my exit. As he pops up. And then as he pops up, he like, yes, you. And then once again, I want y'all to note that Deku constantly wears what's in the thumbnail, like the suit and tie. Or at least that's one of his attires. But he kind of wears that all the time. And he's in the sludge villain's like, yes, you're the one I look. Yes, I'll take your body. And Deku's like, how are you going to take my body when you're on fire? And then all Deku does is, reminiscing to Full Metal Alchemist, for those that know, he snaps his hands. And the whole area just catches on fire. But it's like a controlled fire. It's not even like a majorly, but it's enough to hurt him. So he's like, get off of me, get off of me. And then, you know, Deku's like, well, that's my cue. And he takes his hand, winds it back, says something. All he says is, full power, punch, smash replica, or something to that effect. And then punches the sludge villain. Not on the level of All Might, but fairly strong. After he does that, sludge villain goes pop. And basically, sometime later, All Might pulls up. And does the usual spill. Deku actually tags along, but not nearly as much of the inconvenience as it was prior. And Deku actually somewhat made a low-key name for himself because he's helped out a lot of people and done a lot of things. So All Might's vaguely familiar with him. And so he's like, hey, All Might, as he sits like right on the rooftop with his legs dangling down. And All Might powers down, but he's like, I already knew that. It's like, I have the detection eye. It allows me to know truth about people. He's like, wow. And then All Might's thinking about making him the next user. But then Deku gets very, like, somber. Briefly, though. And he says, All Might, I have a question for you. And this is exactly how I would see it. It would probably be a vape because he's not old enough to smoke. And it goes like this. All Might, I have a question for you. Is there such a thing as a hero without a quirk? Is that a thing? Can someone be a hero without a quirk? And All Might would say similar to what he said in canon, but since I don't remember, since it's been years since I have actually watched it, I gotta make it up. And he would basically be like, no, they might be able to be a good police officer, or maybe a good detective, or something like that, but without a quirk, without a useful quirk, you can't become a hero. That would be too much danger, too much risk. You wouldn't be able to do it. But Deku, with a somber look, says, I thought as much. And then before he says anything else, All Might's like, well, at least you don't have to worry about that, kid. You know, you don't have to really worry about that problem too much. You got mini quirks, I've heard. Hell, I even heard that you levitated water. And All Might's going on and almost like a fanboy in the sense of it's really weird, but it's kind of funny. And then Deku's like, yeah, and this is pretty much where the conversation ends. Deku jumps down from the building, and it appears to look like he's levitating or floating. I digress. He touches down to the ground, and he's like, man. And then sometime later, maybe like 10 minutes, you hear a big explosion. Deku's like, I wonder what that's about. So he starts parkouring off on these walls and stuff, just moving at pretty much insane breakneck speeds, and he's like hustling. Okay? And so like he gets up there and he's like, he's actually, you see him very fatigued, oddly enough, but very confused. And then Deku looks and he sees Bakugo, but this Bakugo looks different. He looks a little bulkier. He's got like green veins, but then he sees it. The sludge villain. This timeline's different than the others. The sludge villain actually was able to take over Bakugo's body. Deku, with rage and venom, all the childhood memories that they shared together, all the things, it just sent him over the edge and everything went red. Bakugo got scared! Boom! Deku goes at insane speeds. Pro heroes up arriving to the scene. Get out of my best friend! He said, phew. And then right before he punches the sludge villain with this like weird voice that he has.
You hurt me, boy, and you'll hurt your best buddy, Kacha. Isn't that right? Wait, did I say his name? He said you might be wondering if you said his name, but you didn't. Once I take over someone's body, I know how to use their abilities and powers better than they do. And it looks like we have a fight to
and he would say basically like we have a fight that we need to continue or where we left off at.
remember in class. And he's like, no.
Wait, if he can use Bakugo's power but better than he can. He remembered Bakugo telling him how his quirk worked and stuff like that. Like, this was like in the in-between before Bakugo just became a complete narcissist, which, side note, if everyone tells you you're perfect and really amazing at everything you do, that may make you a little bit cocky. Food for thought. Anyways, so he's like, wait, he looks around seeing all the civilian, and he's like, gah. He literally tells everyone, close your eyes! He puts his hand out, and he does like a weird little symbol, and he says, sun ray! And then all you hear is, pew! And everyone covers their eyes, and I'll just say the sludge villain, or Bakugo, or the sludge Bakugo, or I don't know. But for right now, if I say Bakugo or sludge villain, I'm talking about them. The sludge villain taking over Bakugo's body. So
Bakugo looks up. He's like, what are you doing, kid? And he's like, my eyes, my eyes. And
so what ended up happening is he tells everyone, get out of here right now. This villain is taking over this boy's body. If y'all don't get out of here now, this is gonna create problems. And then everyone proceeds to start running. Some of the heroes arrive, but once again, they can't help for what happened next. All you hear is grenade cluster. Mad explosions going off everywhere. Just boom, 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 boom. Flames, debris, all of it. Some of the nearby building. And the sludge villain's laughing. He's like... with the power
of my sludge, as he's holding his hand and explosions are coming out slowly, I can negate the side effects of this dude's quirk. This is amazing. I'll use my sludge to protect his bones, and then I'll be able to become even more powerful. Hell, I might even stand a chance to get all my... He had an idea for a lot of different moves. Let's get testing with it, right? So, it begins. Bakugo versus
Deku. A lot earlier than in canon. And this is a serious fight. It begins. The fight goes. Bakugo blitzes, Splee blitzes, Deku, precognition. And he starts weaving every fucking combo that's imaginable. Weave. Mad precision. Mad proficiency. Every combo's getting weaved, countered, blocked, kick, boom. And he's like, sorry, Bakugo. This may be our first fight officially. Like, they've sparred or lightly fought, but never fought. You know what I mean? Like, kind of how it happened a couple seasons later. And he's like, sorry about this, buddy, but jokes aside, if he wasn't a complete dick, I wouldn't enjoy what I'm gonna have to do next. Deku takes a stance. Breathes in, breathes out. Quirk 36. Don't quote me on these numbers because I'm just saying it as it comes to. Quirk 36. Chi control. Boom. He bounces off. Boom. Hits him in the solar plex. Then proceeds to hit him with a fury of combos and kicks. And then kicks him off. Kicks him pretty much into like a local store. Like not a building, but like a small little convenience store building. Like kicks him over there. Boom. Boom. Bakugo, all you hear is explosions going everywhere. Is that all you got? As like Bakugo's face is contorted in like a very unnice looking way, and you just, is that all you got? Come on, don't you think you could give me a little bit more? Oh right, maybe I need to push you to use all your quirks that you have. As he puts his hands together, starts making tiny explosions in his palm of his hand, reminiscent to a Kamehameha, puts his back behind him. This one's just for you. Explosive blast! Deku's like, oh no. He was about to dodge it, but at the very last second, he looks behind him. It's always a girl. It sees a girl with a teddy bear. No, Mr. Snuggie! And he's like, God damn it. Big explosion. Deku, once again, in the tuxedo, so half of like his left leg pants is pretty much all gone, and a little bit of his shoulder. Deku panting, sweating. But all you see is a blue shield in front of him as it starts to like fizzle out. It's almost like it's losing power, like electricity. And he couldn't cover himself fully because he had to cover the kid. So Deku's just like with half, like not half, but like a little bit of battle damage. And he's just looking. Bakugo, I know you're in there. Oh, don't worry about him. He's nice and calm.
I would tell you some things, but you wouldn't live long to remember it. But let's get this thing going. Let's actually create some destruction first.
He starts shooting up in the air. Starts spitting. And he's like, Howler! I forgot what the name of the move was. I think it was Howler Impact or something. I really don't remember. I'm sorry. So he's like, Howler Impact! But the thing that's different with this is, he's able to use more explosions and basically create more nitro collision and create more explosions and stronger explosion because he's able to reduce most of the drawbacks of not Deku, but Bakugo's quirk without hurting the body. So right now, he's taking his new vehicle out on a joyride. And that's what we're doing here. So he's just, and then Deku realizes. He looks at the kid, sees where the mom is at, but he also sees All Might and he's like, why is All Might not helping? Wait, he's weak. He's like, oh yeah, he did get injured in that fight. So what he does is he says, new technique, gentle kick. And he kicks the kid, but the way the kid get kicked up is like very weird because like she gets pushed back almost like a light gust of wind. And then Deku looks back up as Bakugo's getting closer and closer and closer. And then he just sees it. And he's like, oh, great heavens. He puts both of his hands out. Because there's still people behind him, but they're further back. But this is about to be a big impact. And he's like... With everything he's got, he yells. And then starts taking stuff down. Some of the like smaller buildings are getting crumbled down. Some of the surrounding stuff is getting scorched. It's all chaotic. But the people that were behind Deku, with his gloves and sleeve and all that being broken off, they're all protected. And Deku's just bleeding. He's like... And Bakugo's like, he gets back on the ground. I can't believe he survived that. And instead of sounding more like Bakugo or the slime, it's sounding more different, just like a almost like a hybrid of Bakugo's voice, but with the augmentation, and sounding more and more like him with each passing second. And each attack is getting more stronger, more destructive, more powerful. And then Deku looks at All Might, realizes something. All Might got hit, but he got hit with some of the sharp known debris in the background. And guess where it hit him at? Yeah. Right there. And All Might can't help him. He knows that, but no one else does. Because if he says, All Might, help me, and they realize he's All Might in that form, that will create problems. So Deku says to this Bakugo wannabe, taking off the remainder of his upper shirt, and then taking off something that looks heavy, just ripping it off damn near, because it has we'll just say it has zips or little metal clips. He takes it off and just, I guess it's time for me to get serious, as he rips off his remainder of the pants, and he has some shorts on, and then he readjusts and he takes off some things, and he's like, well, I was saving this. A whole bunch of bones popping. I was saving this for another episode, but I guess I gotta go all out from the jump. He takes a warrior stance, and he's like, oh, you
think just because you took some clothes off, you're gonna be able to compete with me? He's like,
yes, I have to. As he takes a deep breath, or strong exhale, sharp exhale, takes a deep breath in, and charges at him. Pew, pew, pew. The fight begins. Pew, 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 pew. Everyone's impressed. Explosions going everywhere. Deku's practically making sure he redirects his explosions to the air or in the ground, or keeping it in close quarter combat. Boom, boom. He's going for kicks, punches, everything, bro. It's just quality content right here. They're just throwing these big daddy hands, bro. It is heavy as hell, bro. Boom, boom, boom. Bakugo's going for a good shot right to the face. Deku weaves it. Boom. Body shot, body shot, body shot. He does a fucking twist elbow. Boom. Hits him right in the nose. Before he recovers from that, he immediately jumps up, tries to hit him. Bakugo blocks that, parries it. And then immediately he shoots an explosion at Deku's leg, shooting him down. Deku almost buckled under the pressure, and then Bakugo puts his hands together, reminiscent to Vegeta in a final explosion, and says, die, die, die! Shooting out consecutive small but potent explosions, condensed right at Deku's face. Boom, 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 boom! And then all you hear is, I'm not giving up yet! He grabs Bakugo, lifts him up, and is running at max speed. He starts spinning, throws him. He takes his stance. He screams, he shouts, he yells, and says, go! Deku? No. Midoriya Rush! Boom! Sprints at him. Boom! Hitting him with all sorts of furies and combos and moves and things of this nature. And then, kicks him up. Jumps up. Starts hitting some more stuff. Hits him down. And then he's like, I got you right where I want you. He puts his hands together. And very briefly, he's like, I learned this one from an anime. Turtle Wave. And then immediately shoots down a beam of energy. Then it happens. Bakugo laughs. Hey, let me ask you something. And all of this is being said in relatively short time. What do you think I've been doing this whole time? Do you not think that those explosions could have really done damage? As the blast is getting closer, but Deku can hear it. He looks around. All you hear him say it out loud. Detetikupai. As he looks, the vision is augmented, and he realizes something. Nitroglycerin sweat is everywhere. Even if he did connect this blast, that's not the important part. It's everywhere. That type of... Then he looks at Bakugo and realizes the sludge. He can swear he can see the sludge villain laughing at him. we'll call this one Atomic Bomb. Before the blast can even connect or do damage, all you hear is blasting out everyone and everything in the surrounding area. Deku. Blood everywhere. Him must have hit some shrapnel or something, but blood everywhere. Down on the ground. Where am I? What's going on? Then he looks up. He looks at Bakugo. As Bakugo proceeds to slowly but surely walk towards or walk away. He can't really make it out. He's losing blood. He doesn't know what he's gonna do. And then it just happens. He looks over at him and says, "You were too weak to save me." And then all Deku does is scream out, "Kachan!" And that's where we're gonna end the video at, boys. Alright, but hopefully y'all like that, you know, let's some light, let's some nice. Tell me what y'all think, how I should move forward, right? We got so many different options, okay? We got many options how we can move forward, you know? The boy could continue the fight, you know, on some shit, power through it, or Bakugo ran away, or, you know, Bakugo got taken away, and that'll change the story, or, you know, All Might's dead. Like, you know, there's so many ways we can go with this boy. Like, just let me know what y'all think, and just in case you're watching this video, buddy, and you made it all the way through, there is a person named the What Ifer, or the Lazy What Ifer. He put down a lot of comments on a lot of videos, or not a lot of videos, but he put a big ass comment and he did it justice. So if you see this, you made it all the way to the end of the video, I want you to know that the What If Deku was in the world of the fantasy or destiny world, I'm not gonna be able to do that because that story is, for me at least, and for me as I'm right now, I'm not gonna be able to do that in that particular sense, but I can give an homage to it in a sort of speak, because I can do What If Deku had a multiversal quirk, or was universal, or something of this effect. I'll give y'all a quick summary, but this is also a shout out to the boy. Basically how it works is he'll be able to travel to different dimensions, right? He'll be able to travel to different planes of realities. And then this is also the kicker before the video ends. He'll be able to travel to different what ifs. Enjoy.